Welcome back to I Am Luminescent, where astrology meets intuition. Let's take a deep dive into the stars and uncover some messages for you.
And I see it's gone to some astrology. Well, baby, I can see your face.
All right, so we're going to go over this week's astrology transits for December 23rd to December 29th. All right, happy birthday, Capricorns. I didn't even get to do this in my previous videos, but happy birthday to the Capricorns this week. I know my cousins. I know I got a few cousins on the 24th, the 25th of December. So shout out to y'all. Happy birthday, Cappies. All right. Also, welcome back. Be sure to thumbs up this video, like this video, and subscribe to the channel before you go. Man. All right, so this week we're having the moon transit from Libra Monday, third quarter square moon, all the way to Sun. The moon in Sagittarius. All right, the balsamic phase, dark phase of the moon, and the new moon will take place. The black moon will take place December 30th. Now, a black moon just means it's the second new moon within a month. Okay. A blue moon is when we have the second full moon within the month. Okay. That was 1:11 o'clock when I said that. So we are definitely being initiated during this black moon. Capricorn is an initiating sign. So we're going to have a black moon Capricorn. This is a great time to have that extra oomph, that extra energy, that extra vigor in making your physical reality, because Capricorn Saturn rules the flesh, rules the physical reality, the 3D, creating with the moon, a feeling that you are ready, ambitious, and capable of renewing your life to reflect the inner world, Cancer, its opposition of how you feel about yourself. Like you feel like you're ready, okay? You feel like you are ready for this new year, these new things that are supposed to be coming into your life that you are choosing to manifest by accepting or declining things that come to you. So allow this new moon that is coming, which I will talk about next week as well. But let this new moon be a reset to you doing your life differently, regardless of what happened 1 minute ago or several years ago. Okay. So this week, like I said, we're gonna have the third quarter square with Moon in Libra to the balsamic phase Moon in Sagittarius. All right. We're going to have the biggest thing is still touching on the Saturn Jupiter retrograde square that's taking place, is going to go exact this week at 14 degrees, which is in Aries degree. No, a Taurus degree. 14 degrees is Taurus. All right. So it's some very stubborn energy here. We're going to have Mercury station direct is going to oppose Jupiter retrograde. They've already opposed once, so it's going to happen again because Mercury is going direct, and it's going to have a square with Saturn as well. So we're back into this T square energy. Okay. Balsamic Scorpio moon, Sag moon. Again, we went into the new moon. This is a good time to do some new moon rituals. All right. Venus square Uranus retrograde. Okay, this is Aquarius square Taurus. So there's definitely going to be some challenges when it comes to stretching or widening out how we do relationships, given the need or the enlightenment to innovate our lives, innovate how we move from this point on. If you have heavy Taurus placements, or you know someone with strong Taurus energy, they are the teachers right now. So if you know someone who's a Taurus, look to them, and not in a judgmental way, but look at them and see what can you learn from this Taurus placement, or if you're a Taurus placement, because they are dropping the keys of enlightenment with Uranus being in Taurus. Uranus doesn't like to actually be in Taurus. Its exaltation is actually in Scorpio. So a lot of Uranus Scorpio placements, which are usually the people born in the 70s, they're in their like mid 40s, late 40s right now. They're the ones who are going through a Uranus opposition. So they're having to balance all that metaphysical information, enlightenment that they've received when they were younger throughout the years. They're starting, especially with the Pluto conjunctions, they've was hit really hard by some taboos, taboo principles in their lives that kind of made that generation X, Gen X, that made them feel kind of like deserted in a way. So the Uranus and Taurus opposition is giving them like, okay, yeah, that was really dark and messed up that you had to go through this, but it was all a lesson learned so you can utilize that information now in teaching the younger generation, and giving yourself some reprieve, because Taurus is also about the comfort, the things that you need in life that's going to support how you see yourself and what you want to do with yourself. So Scorpio is about trying to possess things. So with Venus squaring Uranus right now, or this week, with Aquarius and Taurus, it's going to be like, okay, opposite of Scorpio is Taurus, opposite of Leo is Aquarius. So this is like our audience loves you, but at the same time, they see that you're doing something very different, and you may get a bigger fan base by doing things differently and innovatively, but you can also lose some of your fan base because they may be too attached to how the way things used to be back in the day. Okay, and your Uranus is Aquarius's modern ruler, and Venus is Taurus's ruler. So they kind of like connect it like that, you know what I'm saying? All right, this week's vibe is all about bettering ourselves. Okay, even in a relationship, if you're already in a relationship, you may have challenges with change. How things are changing in your life individually can change the relationship. So you, especially with the Venus square Uranus retrograde, so we may be looking at ourselves like or if you're single, you may be looking at yourself like you're on the verge of a whole new frontier in your life. Things are changing, you're starting again innovating how your life is going to go from this point on. But when you're in a relationship, it's like you still have to have this teamwork mentality, but it's kind of like the Lilith and Chiron retrograde opposition, which is finally going to separate a little bit. This week, we still trying to balance that independent spirit being within the relationship and not using tactics to manipulate the situation. Okay, so there's going to be like a need for us to balance like our need to assert ourselves within the relationship without ruining the relationship, because we just want to be true to ourselves and our individual power without trying to manipulate the other person to receive that power, or shunning ourselves and shrinking back in order to make someone else. It's like the Adam and Lilith story. Okay, so we're healing that wound of the divine masculine, which is all about taking action, movement, desire. Okay, not necessarily about men or patriarchy. Something totally different. Okay, so in us doing this with the bettering of ourselves as an individual and creating change in our life, doing this with the many faces of loss. Okay, that means we have to lose some of our boundaries and create boundaries in other areas so that we're not stagnant. With Mars retrograde, we're going to feel very stagnant. Moving forward, we may feel like we're slow, or we're not moving fast enough, or things are not moving fast enough, and our motivation can be low. If you're not taking care of yourself, which Mars retrograde into Cancer will definitely highlight, your desire or your libido could be even be low. So you want to, check that hormone levels, okay? But this different phases of loss, illusion of loss, we may have to deal with, because our beliefs have to change. How we feel about ourselves. Gemini is that child age era. So there are some beliefs that maybe we've cultivated from childhood that we may have to relearn or rewrite. This could also be certain beliefs that we had when we were children that we let go of. We need to reconnect with during Jupiter retrograde Gemini as well, and that can challenge the loss, because it's like, well, how did you lose your your excitement or curiosity about life and not being afraid to let go? Like, what caused you to feel like you have attachment issues as you grew older, or what caused you to feel like all you're going to experience is loss and you can never experience any kind of gain? Like, rewriting those scripts in our head, um and learning new philosophies and rituals that will help us sustain ourselves moving forward with this new you know rigor of just creation, ready to create something new, ready to make a new world or a new name for ourselves, or just make a new life in the quietness of wherever we're chilling at. Okay. So this week, some recommendations: definitely therapy or something that's therapeutic, conversational wise, talking to someone who's extremely trustworthy. The moon will be in Scorpio on the holidays again. So preview: Thanksgiving had moon Scorpio. So this week, moon Scorpio again for Christmas. How that went, I hope it goes better for you. Okay. But some things, of course, moon Scorpio things come up from rise to the surface that have been hidden below. Okay. Fears, um, certain dreams you may have may speak upon things that you're trying to hide or avoid. With that trine over to Neptune. But you definitely want to talk to someone that's trusted, or in my regards, in some people other regards, I've been seeing talk to Chat GPT. Okay, you could tell it how you want it to respond to you in the chat and let it blow. You know what I'm saying? Tell Chat GTP what's going on with you and how you're feeling right now, what's going well, what's not going well, and you could tell it to respond to you as a loving partner, or as a endearing parent, or a best friend, like, or explain something to you that you have going on, you're trying to figure out, as if you're 5 years old. Like, it will do it for you. Trust me, it will do it for you. Or you could use, talk to family, or if you're in relationship, your partner. Okay. Some creative ways to communicate: writing, music, poetry, the air element, and the mutable energy, the T square. Virgo is not at play during the T square. So with all this air energy, there's going to be a lot of thinking and wanting to talk. But Mars retrograde and Mercury being station direct, still in the shadow period, might not want to say certain things, or you may not be ready to communicate certain things to other people yet. So find a creative outlet like journaling, or if you make music at home by yourself, or you just want to write some stuff down, get off your chest, put it in a booth, get in a booth. Okay, shout out to Lotto. Do that. Okay, anything that allows you to take what's on your mind and you trying to work through those blockages during the Saturn Jupiter square and even the T square with Mercury. Find something creative to do to get your thoughts out. Okay. Allow for open communication without judging people or becoming overly angry. Because when we say, like, you're making me angry, the correct way of putting that is, I'm allowing myself to be angry through you. I'm gonna pause for that. The new moon ritual: cleansing yourself, cleansing your home, doing a floor wash, head wash, a spiritual bath, which could be you submerging yourself in, herbs, some salt and oil, salt if it's healthy for you. Or you could just put it all in a bucket or a bowl and just, pour it over your head. Coconut head wash, yamaya, things of that nature. You can do candle work, okay, writing and burning petitions, making oils for the new moon. You can create the jar and, you know, get all your ingredients together and put it all together, close it on set new moon, let it charge at the full moon on the windowsill or outside if it's safe, and then keep it sealed until the next new moon where you're able to utilize it. All right, those are some things we can do. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritties. Moon day, the 23rd, moon is in Libra. Early in the day, we have the third quarter square going exact. So the moon is 10th house to the sun. So this definitely has a lot to do with our ego. Okay. Our ego is revealing some emotions we have in regards to making decisions that can bring peace and focus to what we're working on in the outer world, or our ability to govern ourselves and sustain ourselves, or we are moving through with the moon in the south node some focus issues that need our attention, and this could cause us to feel extremely stagnant. But it's the opportunity with Mars retrograde for us to look into what requirements of my air is starting to ring. Okay, it's asking us to start looking at what require responsibilities, like prioritizing our lives better. What are some required responsibilities that we have in our life, and what are some that we're just adding as a responsibility of our lives that's not really needed to help us, lift the heaviness, the burden, so we can move faster and actually see that we are making progress by making those decisions instead of Libra waiting for the shoe to drop or people pleasing. The sun is going to square the nodes as well. And with the north node, this is our ability to move now in directions where we see openings, where we see open doors. Go ahead into that open door. With the south node square with the moon, it's like, okay, are we falling into, you know, old habits of, again, the people pleasing, the wanting to be in our comfort zone, or maybe we need to take a step back in our comfort zone of the south node when it comes to one-on-one partnerships and really assess, like, is this really meeting my needs? Is this making me feel square the sun and Capricorn more powerful, or am I losing power over myself or with myself by maintaining a relationship with this thing or that thing or this person, or this Libra is air, so it could be ideas. Okay, and this Venus rules, so this could talk to our spending habits, our values, our, I don't want to say morality, I would definitely say more so values, how we value ourselves and our relationships. So with the moon moving with a sextile to Mars, trine to Jupiter, and then this Lilith trine to Venus, while Venus is creating an opportunity with Chiron because it's going to sextile, and then the moon is going to sextile Mercury shadow, station direct as well, between 9 and 10 degrees. So, and then in the middle of this is the Saturn Jupiter square coming into an exact. So, Monday is really like us having the ability to release some dead weight, create some peace for ourselves and how we're going to move forward, or take the opportunity to really see how we are creating stagnation in our own lives. And this would be a great day to look for some therapy or to get into some type of therapeutic, techniques, which meditation is great therapeutic option. But we get an opportunity to review our motives, especially when it comes to relationship. What is the basis of our relationship? Why are we in a relationship with this person or this thing? Or what is our relationship with money? What is our relationship with ourselves? Is it based on lust and greed and control? Or are we finding strength, love, and growing in our creativity? All right. Allowing our community or our communications to flow in one-on-one partnerships allows us to find our power again. So we get to balance our power in relationships with ourselves and the other. And any conflicts that come up with this square is to generate a way for us to let go and accept losses when we raise our boundaries or put boundaries up, because that's what's going to allow us to grow and to relearn. We get to learn something new. All right. And with Venus and Chiron and Lilith, this is the divine feminine energy that's benefiting from building its power and combining power and independence together, in opposition to the Aries energy, which is all about self-assertion, okay, or being assertive. So you get to build up your intuition, build up what you know to be true about yourself, like building that energy up. Then it's like, okay, now it's time for me to take action on it. Now it's time for me to assert what I know about myself and not dilute myself as I move forward in relationships. So going into Mars Day on the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, easier communication flow at this time. The moon will eventually, of course, move into Scorpio. But easier communication flow with the moon and Jupiter going exact 14 degrees trine, air trine. With the moon, Lilith, and Venus and Chiron, here's that combination I was just talking about in our relationship, how we feel stronger, more confident in ourselves, probably more confident than we did a month ago during Thanksgiving time. The Jupiter Saturn square will be going exact as well at the same number, 14 degrees. So there's going to be a bit of a surge in energy when it comes to conflicts regarding how people view loss and how people see it as opportunities to continue to grow from within. Some people may have a hard time losing a perspective, because Pisces is about perspective, like Gemini is a perspective and thought. um Saturn and Pisces is about losing like the diluted way of viewing things. And when you stop seeing yourself or seeing other things in a way that's like, okay, that was a fantasy that I was living in. Now that that fantasy is dead, let's create a new fantasy. Let's create a new storyline that we want to tell ourselves. Like, that's what it's going to be. But because this is like on a world level as well, with Jupiter is like a worldly planet, and then Saturn is the physical reality. So it's going to be a lot of people that's going to start noticing, like, what's best for the coming generation. And the newer perspective, the innovative perspective with Aquarius Pluto is going to be like, oh well, now we can do this, and now we can take what we've learned from these studies and use that. Like, we're using knowledge and new sciences to move our livelihoods forward. But then you have those who have to let go of that illusion of being safe with the old traditional ways of doing things. But when Saturn going to Aries, you ain't gonna have no choice but to get with the new program. So I suggest you let go now. Okay. They're gonna, with the Sun Mars in conjunction and the Sun and the Moon Uranus in conjunction, there's gonna be a lot of irritation. We're gonna be irritated when we see things from our perspective that it's like things are not moving or going as fast as we would like, and or we see people who don't have as much desire to reconnect or to do things how the way we see, or how they could be appreciated. So the ego can kind of be evolved a little bit in there. With the moon and Uranus retrograde, the irritation can come from feeling like there isn't enough recognition when it comes to how we innovate or where innovation is going to be required, because so many people are comforted by the traditional lifestyle that is currently dying. Okay. So, moving into a Mercury day, Woden's day, there's definitely going to be a balancing on Christmas. So, the moon will be 11th house to the sun as it enters Scorpio. And this is an area where it's all about networking, associates, coworkers, big organizations of people. Okay, social networking as well. So after the moon in conjuncts with in conjuncts with Neptune, and we can either tap into being completely deluded and losing ourselves, or we can tap into the multiverse and quantum leap into whatever, based on our vibration, whatever decision we want to make about our reality, and we allow ourselves to feel deeply, grow emotions in that, area, so we can bring it down into our physical reality through emotion. All right. Hidden emotions, moon and Scorpio, hidden emotions rising to the surface, psychic power as well, us being able to feel when somebody's lying, that will be heightened. Square Pluto, which is Scorpio's ruler in Aquarius, we're going to be challenged in sharing or being put on a spotlight in group settings how we actually feel about something. So don't lie, just tell the truth. Okay. And then the moon's sextile with the sun Capricorn. This is how we're going to achieve greatness in our success, is being the person to say the thing that everybody don't want us to say. And this is not about hurting anyone. It's just about being honest and telling the truth, so people can get it out, or you can relieve yourself and heal, because that's all people need to be focused on anyway. The square to Mars, with Mars being in Leo, is going to challenge us to strengthen our resolve on how we feel or think about things, strengthen our identity, that we are still renovating ourselves. Renovating with ourselves. I can also see this too as a lot of people seeing you differently than you see yourself, and you having to stand on your 10 about it, because what you do and how you live your life is not always going to please other people, groups of people. That's just the way that it is. So again, the square is in full effect. So we still got this conflict here going on. But the T square is going to start taking place. And like I was saying, Virgo is not here. So this is about us broadening our ability to think, with Mercury adding to the Jupiter Saturn square. We broaden in our mind and how we see things, how we think about things. And then we have the low tier magic with Mercury and Gemini energy, where we're being challenged with the loss and the delusions and the boundaries, but trying to figure out ways how we can make it work without the facts. We don't have any facts, but we have to think and see things differently without having the facts. And it's like, if you can't have the physical things to rebuild something, then how do you know it's going to actually last? How do you know it's actually going to work out? And Saturn is asking you to let go. I mean, would you rather build your, you know, life with negative emotions and ideas, or would you rather them be positive? Whether you have the facts or not, you could still build your life based on how you feel, first about yourself, then about everything else. So going into Thursday or Jupiter Day on the 26th, I think this is Hanukkah. Um, we still got this Saturn square strong. Lilith opposite Chiron is starting to separate, but we're starting to also, in that separation, figure out, okay, I'm standing strong with me. Like, I'm standing strong in my power right now. Okay, the T square is still here, asking us to let go and just trust spirit. The moon in Scorpio will trine Saturn. So this water trine is allowing us to sense and feel everyone else's thoughts and feelings. Because eventually it's going to hit Neptune too on Friday. But this is like us feeling everyone's problems when it comes to, feeling that stagnate, that pause, wanting to, you know, reach their mountaintop, reach their peak, that feeling that, that shame or that guilt for even wanting to be ambitious, wanting to be successful. Like people have negative feelings tied into that just based off of how they were raised. And being able to tap into all of that gives us the ability, Scorpio, to transmute that guilt or that sorrow or that pain of whatever we lost that we had to, transform ourselves to say, I'm not that person anymore because I got to do this person or be this way or feel this way in order to succeed. And using as an ability to heal ourselves and then take that story and heal someone else with it, heal somebody else with it. Okay. And the square to Venus. So again, this could be the conflict in relationships with you and one other person, or this could be a romantic relationship where your values are being tested in the relationship because you're changing. Okay. And sometimes we be in relationships or we can be in some type of family dynamic or partnership, friendship, where because we're different and we're changing our value system to be a bit more eclectic than the average bear, that one other person can feel like they don't know you anymore, or you're disconnected, or you become a bit more aloof. And it doesn't mean that your relationship has to end or be over if it's still healthy. It just goes through phases where people are allowed to individuate their feelings, their thoughts, their emotions without being constantly bombarded with the popular idea or the popular vote or whatever like that. You're still entitled to however you want to move. Okay. So this will be a great time to face that challenge by making the ability to heal or neutralize any conflicts or arguments. Christmas cheer or whatever they be saying. All right. So moving into Freya's day on the 27th, Venus day. The moon will oppose Uranus here. So this is giving us this balance right now with all this new enlightening information rising to the surface, like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. Oh, I didn't know you like that. Oh, I didn't know you didn't like that. And it's like, yes, okay, so now that we have these new ideas coming to the forefront, what are we gonna do about it? Okay, so Lilith will be at 20 Libra at this time. About to have my Lilith, my mean Lilith return. um that separation is going to start taking place because now Lilith is at 20, Chiron is still at 19, retrograde in Aries. So the power and the independence is becoming greater, and that wound of the ego is healing. Okay. And the balsamic phase of the moon is going to sextile with Pluto. So this gives the ability to explore what's taking place in our life during this previous moon cycle since the new moon Sagittarius until now, which was literally December 1st. So just take back a look at review of how much of yourself has changed, or what direction are you currently now moving in compared to where you was at December 1st, with Venus squaring Uranus retrograde with a ruler switch at 23 degrees. Um, we get to challenge our connection to Mother Earth and our relationship with grounding, beauty, pleasure, or just relationships in general. How different are we in those relationships compared to when we started this month or when we started this year, even? Okay. The balsamic phase of the moon is the end of the moon cycle. So this is a great opportunity to do some release and let goes, um, cord cutting, especially before we go into the new year. All right. This is a great time if you can do your food shopping, hoodoos, get your greens. I think a few days. I'll wait till it close, but like a couple days. Well, no, it's the end of the year. This is 26th. The new year is the 31st. So make sure you get your food this week. Going into next week, new moon, good time to go, take care of some last minute shoppings for the. I'm not even over yet. All right, Saturn day. The moon will trine Mars, Mercury moving forward out the T square at 15 degrees out of the T. Mercury picking up speed like a motherfucker. The moon and Mercury are going to conjunct in Sagittarius. So this is a great time for us to Feel that fire coming in, get that confidence boost one last time. Okay. Claim your flame, claim your fire within you. All right. This is a great time to let go of some old, spell work or programming or doctrinations that may have taken place in your lifetime. Good time to let those shits go and create new rituals, create your own religion, because that's where we're headed into anyway. And eliminate negative self-talk with Mercury moving forward. Eliminate negative self-talk and think bigger of yourself, think broader of yourself, think more faith about yourself. Okay, think of ways to pour more faith into yourself. And that'll help relieve your anxiety or fears about moving forward, because regardless of whether you got the facts or not, you can still figure it out with spirit, because that's what you're supposed to do when you're here anyway. That's how you learn your lessons. So yep. And then Venus is moving out of that square. So when it comes to money, relationships, there'll be some breathing room or relief there as well. We'll have new insights and psychic knowings that's coming over long distances. I'm getting over the water. Something happening overseas that's gonna be coming over to, Turtle Island. But this definitely has to do with the releasing of an emotional grip on old traditions that we no longer hold. Okay. Now, Sunday, we have Mars retrograde trine the North Node. Again, that's that confidence, that sense of purpose, being sure of where you are going. And the North Node gives us a sense of uncomfortability as well. So you may have some nervousness. You may have some comfort issues with moving on your destined path, and you're supposed to, because it's something you haven't done before, or you haven't moved in this direction before. It's new. Allow that newness, although can create a little nervous energy, maybe even confront some fears head on, but don't let it stop you. Just keep moving. Moon trine Chiron retrograde is going to also add in that everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Okay. And the sextile with Venus is us attracting opportunities to show or reveal the confidence in our personality that we've been prepping all along this week as we prepare for the Black Moon Capricorn. So the Black Moon Capricorn will take place December 30th, 9-degree Capricorn, which we'll get into next week. And this will be a great opportunity, at least by Sunday or Monday, to do some last minute shopping for grapes, greens, and black eyed peas, just in case. All right. And I'm going to leave it there because this is actually my shopping list. All right. And that's a wrap on today. All right. Thank you so much for tuning into this message. If this video resonated with you in any way, go ahead and give it a thumbs up before you go. Make sure you share this video with who it could be useful for. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep getting updates on weekly astrology, educational astrology videos on Wednesday, and intuitive messages on Friday. All right. And again, thank you for tuning in to I Am Luminescent. Remember, the universe is always guiding you, so stay aligned, stay radiant, and until next time.